So as I'm coming along here, I'm seeing maybe some other lines that I might want to incorporate into it, but I don't want it to become just this cobweb of, all the same, values and intensities. And so I want to make sure I keep that variance. This is more of a contour, even though I see, oh, you don't see that there. Okay, this right here isn't necessarily a character line. It's the beginning of the value. It gets a little bit darker. This is obviously kind of, it's catching the light because it's rounded up enough, but then it contours into the side of his face. So I'm just going to try and get a little bit of that value in there while I'm here, just to create a side to his face. I think that's too dark. It's not as dark as the, look at how this is darker than what I'm working on. And so I don't want to bring this forward and dominate, or change the depth and dimension of this drawing, or this man's face. So I'm going to make sure that this is a little darker. And then of the three, this looks like it's a little darker, but not all the way up. And then this bends, and maybe that's important because it complements the roundness of his cheek. He's probably not as, maybe he's never been heavy, but, his face isn't full. It's probably, he's a lean guy. And so we don't want to create too much of a curve, but it is there. So I want this underside of the cheek lifted up just a little bit by just subtly placing that value. And then I notice that there are, because of the way he's smiled or however his face has been animated through the years, there's an opportunity for me to get in a little direction to a couple subtle little lines, almost, creating this this lift. Maybe I need to increase this just a tiny bit. I don't want these to catch up too much. If you defy the contours of his face, and you're determined to maybe just more than anything else put stripes on his face, you're missing the opportunity, I think. I hope I'm describing that right. You're missing the opportunity to create, again, those wonderful complements to the contour, the character of his face. This man has been smiling in a certain way his whole entire life, and he's probably, I don't know, a man with his own emotions and things, and those are all going to develop and show in all these character lines. And as I'm going along here, I'm just making sure I catch some of those things. So I see that flow, to his face, as we've talked about so often. The grain. What is it doing? How is it complementing the curve, complementing his look, his attitude, his character after all these years? Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you did, subscribe below. And also share it with your friends. So we'll see you in the next one.